going at that spot?
You know, it's been a good competition so far. We're moving a lot of guys around, you know, seeing who can do what to help the team. So I've been encouraged over the first couple of days of practice. The guys are playing hard, they're competing, and it's been fun to watch.
Who are the key guys competing for that spot?
You have Jonathan Moxie, you have Cleishon Page, you have Brian Douglas, you have Mercy Maston.
And then losing Deonza, did you move someone to nickel? Someone else to nickel?
Yeah, we shift some guys around. Cameron Hartsfield's playing there now, and he's been doing a good job so far here in fall camp, and we're rotating some other guys through. So we'll have plenty of options.
You got Jeremy and Darian back, who played a ton of football at safety, but obviously the secondary didn't play at the level you guys would have liked last year. What do you need to see from them this year to sort of take another step in their games?
You know, those guys have played a lot of football. I think for those guys, just, you know, learning our system, how we want them to play. And I think the main thing for those guys is being able to be the quarterback back there and make the calls and be able to play fast. So they've been progressing really well. I'm really encouraged, and those kids, you know, they're great kids and want to learn. So we're excited about it.
Is what you're asking them to do different than what they did before?
It's similar. You know, obviously some different technique things. Obviously the way we play certain things is different. And so, you know, those kids have taken a liking to it. So I'm looking forward to seeing them develop and seeing them go out there August 28th.
What do those two guys bring to the field that you like?
Leadership. You know, they've played a lot of football. They've been in a lot of battles. They've seen a lot of different scenarios. So they're able to understand formations and see splits and things like that and kind of have a good idea of the type of plays that the offense is going to run. So it's a pleasure to have them back there.
Anything in particular you're emphasizing with those guys to get better this fall?
You know, I think just digesting the play really fast with their eyes and then being able to play fast. So, you know, the one thing, you know, as the DB coach, when you guys see the DBs, I want them to play fast, I want them to play physical, and I want them to play hard. And so, you know, those kids are starting to recognize the plays pretty quick, and they're starting to play pretty fast.
Does having a guy like Dylan Sumner-Gardner right behind them give a little extra oomph to those veterans to stay?
You know, I wouldn't. I think it's a group of guys. You know, I think you have Chancellor James also is doing a great job. You got Dylan Lukehart, who's played some football, that's pushing those guys, and then, you know, you got Dylan Sumner-Gardner also. So it's a lot of those guys that are out there competing. You know, we have Taylor Loeffler, who also played. So it's a big group, and those guys are competing. And you know, the one thing they know is we're not afraid to change the depth chart.
Dylan, everybody said fit in very well in the spring. What have you seen from him, sort of making that transition from high school to this level?
For who?
For Dylan.
Dylan's done a great job. You know, he's still 17 years old, and so the one thing about Dylan is he's a great kid. Those kids like him. He likes them, and they get along really well. So, you know, for him, it's just, you know, he should still be in high school or just getting done, and he's been here all spring. So it's continuing for him to learn the playbook, learn our checks and things that we need to make. But I'm encouraged by him. You know, he studies and he wants to be great, so I'm excited.
When you compare him to some of the other younger guys that have came in just in fall camp, how much more advanced is he? How much did he benefit from getting here earlier?
I think he benefited a ton. You know, I mean, if you look at it, our freshman guys who didn't come for the spring, they've been here for a month, and so really they've only had with us, this was their 5th practice. And so for Dylan, this is his 18th practice. And so, you know, he really has 2 weeks of actual practice time with our coaches, with our players going full speed. So it's not new to him. From day one, he was used to the speed of how spring and stuff went. So it's been a pleasure to have him.
And what's his role this season?
That'll be determined over the next couple weeks. You know, all those guys are still competing. We'll have a plan for him. You know, he's going to play on special teams, going to help us a bunch. He's going to play on defense. And for us and him, it's figuring out the role to put him in so he can have the most success.
Dante Dion's a guy who made a lot of big plays last year. What kind of role do you think he'll have this season?
Dante will be a leader back there for us. He's a tremendous player. You know, the one thing I really like about Dante is he really, really studies. And so, you know, I like him. He's competitive. He wants to be great. And so he'll be a leader back there. I mean, the kid started, this will be his 3rd season, and he's made a ton of plays. And he wants to be great also. So it's good having a lot of guys back there with experience. There's no question.
In the limited amount we've gotten to watch, it seems like it's a really competitive group, and there's in the one-on-one drills, there's a lot of trash talking, a lot of, you know, it seems like the competitiveness is there. Is this group going to play with an edge to them, you think, back there?
Yeah, we want them to play with the edge, and I want them to be very competitive. You know, that's one of the things we preach. And so I want those kids to go out and compete. You know, we tell them we don't have to talk about it. I just want them to go out there, and when they're out there, I want them to go out, you know, take a chance, go make great plays, because I think the great ones will do that. And I don't want to restrict them in any means. I want them to go out and play hard and fast and compete and lay it all on the line.
We haven't had a chance to talk with Brian Douglas yet, but what have you kind of seen from him? You know, last year coming into fall camp, he was kind of seen as one of the guys that was going to start, was going to kind of be a focal point of that secondary, and now he's fighting for a job.
You know, I think it just shows, you know, that we're a competitive group, and so guys are going to push each other. And Brian can be right back in that same role, you know, and those kids know that. And so, you know, my main thing is we need to get through the first 2 scrimmages and see how it all plays out. But it's a competitive group, and, you know, I want them to go out there, and like I tell them, I want them to take what they get. So, you know, go out there and take your reps, earn your reps, and those kids are doing it. So I'm excited.
What are the